And they've kept them artificially high for a very long time, at least 3 years, in my opinion, two and a
Yep.
half, 3 years. So we're starting to see that turn around, thankfully.
Yep, we are. And I've got people that sat and waited, and people that took high fives that told me, hey, call me when the rates, go down. And we rode all the way up into the mid sevens before we started coming down. And those people continue to check in. And, if you've got 5.8, it might be a while before you're going to benefit, just depending on which type of loan you have. And some people are changed their family structure, they're empty nesters or they just had another baby. So they are not going to want to refinance. They're ready to purchase. And I mean, I have to say, I never thought a lot of people would want to get rid of their twos and threes, but there are a lot of people who are just waiting for, that five something on the conventional or, mid fives on the government loans to go ahead and list their home and make that move. And there's actually more opportunities for people to keep their home and rent it out and then buy another one. And that's something that you and I need to probably do a Zoom about or a meeting about is talking about how you can basically keep the house depending on what type of loan you have on it or what type of loan you're doing, because FHA has their own rules, VA has their own caveats. But more and more people are deciding to keep that home because the payment's so low, because the rate was so low.
Sure. And a lot of times it makes sense to keep the property because it was a good investment and it can cash flow. Real estate, most of the time, is an appreciating asset, historically speaking. We have had times like in the 2008 crash where it wasn't always appreciating, but everything's bounced back from that time anyway since then. So rental property is not for everybody though either. Just because you have a good situation on your mortgage and you can cash flow, it doesn't mean you should. Tenants are not always fun to deal with, and
Nope.
that's
Or you have to
that's
get a property manager.
yeah. I mean, I could give you a litany of horror stories I've heard over the years and have personally experienced with tenants renting property. But let's talk about what's going on in the world.
Yeah. What part? It's so
There's
exciting.
so much.
Everything's going
There's
on.
there's
I
so
can't
much
keep up.
happening right now.
I
Well,
definitely can't keep up.
I think we should start with the $200 billion investment that's being discussed.
Well, Fannie and Freddie, that's not printing money. That's assets that he's instructed them to buy mortgage bonds. So mortgage-backed securities help to lower interest rates for us. So by Fannie and Freddie buying those, which they haven't even done, the fact when he came out and mentioned it, the market got better, but it hasn't even been done yet. So I'm waiting on that, but from industry experts, they say that 200 billion is just like a little drop in the bucket. I mean, do you think it's going to move the needle or and is it a one-time thing or is it going to be that they're going to buy it because,
I think the
like
position that Fannie and Freddie are in, they should be not necessarily forced, but they should have their arm twisted constantly to continually buy and invest in the market.